Hey, welcome. Got the Jagoffs here. I'm Ron Prysak.
I'm Wes Said.
And Sam Green here.
And today we're going to do a top 10 list because top 10 lists are all the rage. The topic we have chosen is just our 10 favorite games since we've gotten back into tabletop gaming. It was probably late summer of 2012 when we started watching the tabletop YouTube series with Will Wheaton. I was about to say Wesley Crusher. I really was.
As well, you should.
And so it just exploded from there. We started buying the games that they showcased. Then we started buying more games. And I went crazy, and you went a little bit crazy.
Yeah, I'm a little nuts.
You not so much.
I'm pretty mellow.
Yeah, but we just went crazy. We bought a lot of good stuff. I mean, we were seeing them on tabletop play, so we knew we were getting into. We watched a lot of reviews.
Some trial and errors.
Yeah, I mean, we got a couple duds.
Weren't home runs.
We bought some duds.
But they were usually
Yes.
pretty cheap, so.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Life goes on.
So this is going to be the top 10 games that we like.
Really
our
enjoyed
favorite
over
games.
the past year.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed over.
Or
the last
slightly
year.
more
Yeah.
than a year, but yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Here,
And
press.
yeah, so it's not just 2013 games, nothing like that. It's just since we've gotten back into tabletop gaming, we went crazy with this. So yeah, I mean, you could also, I guess, consider this as a little trial and error. I mean, if you kind of pick up on our tastes, these might be 10, 20, 30, depending on how many overlaps we have. These might
Yeah,
be...
because we don't know. No one knows. We haven't seen each other's lists here, so we're not sure what's going to come out here.
Yeah, so
there's a couple of good assumptions, but
Yeah, so these might qualify as games that if you're starting a collection or getting into it, these might be the games you'd want to get. So let's go to number 10.
Well, my number 10, it is a wildly popular game right now. Everyone seems to be buying it. Cards Against Humanity. I like the dirty aspect of it. It really catches my sense of humor. But to me, it seems like there's a lot of throwaway cards in there. There's not enough like trump cards, as it were.
There are so many, just those good ones are so good that maybe those other ones are there, but you're like, I just can't, why can't I have Pac-Man uncontrollably guzzling cum? You know, you want that one, and it's like you've got this other one that would be otherwise good if they didn't have right in
two
these.
midgets shitting in a bucket.
Yeah, if they didn't write
Indeed,
these.
yes.
Yeah.
It really speaks to my sense of humor for sure.
That's good stuff. Definitely.
Yeah, it's just that the good ones are so good that
And-
they just overshadow the other ones.
I would have guessed you had it a little higher, but you know.
Well,
Yeah, I would have thought so too, though. I mean,
it's a fun game, but I don't know. When you know the cards, it loses its luster a little bit.
Yeah.
Although the two answer cards are where the money's at,
Yeah,
because there's a lot of creativity that goes into that.
yeah. If you have those, I mean,
If
you
you-
can. Yeah, there are just those ones that just work perfect,
Yeah,
and
like-
they come out enough.
Make a haiku.
Yeah.
That's always the
Yeah.
to me that's the best one.
Yeah.
But my number 10 is Cards Against Humanity.
All right, my number 10 is another biggie. I mean, this is the one that if you're playing tabletop games, you've got this game. You've probably got Cards Against Humanity, but you've also got this, and that's King of Tokyo. I mean, that is, I mean, for the dice, I mean, just for what you do, I mean, it's great.
We actually me and West Side just finished playing a couple of rounds of
There you
that.
go. So,
Actually,
and then with the expansions,
we didn't play with the expansions tonight, but
Okay.
nonetheless, we did play a couple rounds of it, and definitely a entertaining game.
yeah,
It's
but
a
it's
lot
just
of fun.
so much fun. I mean, you're
Yeah.
rolling those dice.
Two players is a little,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
nonetheless,
Four is the best way. To
yeah,
go.
because two players, no matter what, you're always getting hit.
Yeah,
No
you're
matter
just
what.
beating the snot out of each other essentially.
Yeah, I mean,
Two players.
yeah, I mean, you're playing at it.
You almost
and
don't even need to be
upwards.
in Tokyo.
Yeah.
You know, you might as well just eliminate Tokyo almost with two players.
And there's just so much going on for such a simple game, and you have the energy to buy those cards. to give you the special power. I mean, there's just the Yahtzee aspect of it, rolling to see what you get. It's just a nice dice rolling game that has that theme of Godzilla-y stuff.
Yeah, you get some good characters in there too.
Yeah, so that's my number 10, King of Tokyo.
My number 10 is quite possibly the simplest game you can buy. Cards versus dice.
Yeah.
Very entertaining, quick, simple. You can play with anybody, kids, adults, and it's so small you can take it anywhere. You can throw a copy in your glove box if you just have with you. But very simple game. Make it a number 10 because I think it deserves a little more recognition than what.
I couldn't find it on Board Game Geek, so
yeah. Yeah, it's not on there.
You probably ought to add it and start getting yourself a bunch of Geek Gold.
I did actually hear from the guy that made it, and he appreciated the review on Amazon.
Yeah,
Palez, if I remember right, his name is Jose Palez or something like that. But he did appreciate my review on Amazon, and I put a link to our Jagoff review, and he said that's pretty cool because he can send people in that direction.
That's nice.
But that's my number 10 there. Cards versus dice. Check it out.
Yeah. I mean, for such a light, I mean, it's just something you can break out, and it takes you 30 seconds to teach somebody. Not even. I mean, you can really.
There's only one game simpler I can think of, and that's that Attraction with the magnets.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But honestly,
you don't get much simpler.
If you have 4 people playing, and that person who's never seen it is the 4th, you don't have to tell them what to do.
No,
because the 3 turns before it gets to them, they've got it figured out.
Yeah. If not on the first turn. I mean, it's that simple. But anyway, that's
fun to play and simple. That's very important qualities.
All right, well, let's go to number 9. Okay, my number 9, a brand new game, and if this didn't exist, there's another game that probably would have slid right in here, and that is Forbidden Desert. Okay, it's just great from the creator of Pandemic. Forbidden Desert is the big brother to Forbidden Island, which I also love. Forbidden Desert just adds those little bit extra mechanics that just take it a little bit past Forbidden Island.
I think Desert is definitely better than the Island version. It adds a little more.
And you no longer feel
another level or two into it,
and you no longer feel like this is like a really light Pandemic. You know, you had Pandemic, and then you could tell that when you played Forbidden Island that this guy created both games.
You get the vibe.
And now he's gone here, and you can't really get that feel anymore if you jump from one straight to the other without going into Island.
I kind of feel, though, and I've only played this a couple times, I feel, though, if the water carrier is not involved, you're doomed.
Right.
I mean, that seems to be like an essential role in this game.
I guess it depends on... I really don't know whether it's harder or easier depending. Most cooperative games are harder the more people you play, but I'm not sure on this one. But I mean, it's just so much fun, and it's not that long. You can play it and then play it again and then play it a third time, and not even half your night's gone.
Right,
depending on how long you're playing.
Yeah.
So that's my number 9, Forbidden Desert.
All right, my number 9 is Catan. Or I believe Settlers of Catan. One of the earlier board games I played.
That's pretty much the granddaddy of this generation.
Unless you want to go back into Monopoly and stuff, but that's one of the earlier ones of just the board game and being sort of introduced to some of the stuff that's online and available right now is Catan. Sort of fell for it with just the cool mechanics of adding different buildings and paths or whatever. I can't think of what they call the roads.
Yeah, the settlements and cities.
But I enjoyed that. Catan though, and again, I guess it's almost a classic now.
Oh, it is. I mean, it is the game that started all of this. I mean, we would not have what we have without Catan. Because when it came over from Germany in '95, it just took off, and then you had Carcassonne come in, and some of these other ones.
Carcassone's another good one too.
And it's what did it. It's what brought.
Yeah.
It's why we have all we have. It is.
That's my number 9.
All right, Saeed.
Well, my number 9 happens to be someone else's number 9 as well, and that is Forbidden Desert.
Hey,
I believe we've covered everything that we need to with that.
Wow.
I really enjoyed it. It is better than Island, and while I enjoyed Pandemic, I find it's a bit different. It's still cooperative.
It's lighter, it's faster, and you're still getting that cooperative and difficult vibe. I mean, you're getting what you want. So if you can't put the time, I mean, not that Pandemic's that long, but if you can't put the time into Pandemic, Forbidden Desert, you're done. You got it. You can get 2 plays in.
Bada bing.
Yeah. So, all right, that's our 9s. We'll go on to 8.
My 8 might be a little surprised to a couple people at the table, but Whitechapel.
Letters from Whitechapel.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I love it.
I thought it might get a little reaction on that. I like the game. One of these times I'll get to actually play as
As Jack.
as Jack the Ripper there.
Yeah.
However,
We need the
This is
full.
always Jack for some reason.
We need the full complement. I mean,
Yeah.
so everybody, all the detectives are being used by a person. That's what we need. That's what we haven't done, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you
I
can
like
still,
the guessing part of it,
Yeah.
sort of the interaction and the
It's like,
one
yeah.
person leader is okay. I wish there actually wasn't a one person leader. That's the thing I would change maybe if there wasn't there. Maybe have a card that's in an envelope like Clue or something, and that's where Jack is hidden, and you can take a look at it. But that's changing all the mechanics.
yeah. But I mean,
But,
that theme
I do
is
like
there.
Whitechapel.
You feel
I
like
do
a
like
detective, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You're
there.
trying to figure out where he's headed and taking guesses and educated guesses, hopefully, while you're playing it. But yeah, my number 8 is Whitechapel.
Letters from Whitechapel.
Letters from Whitechapel. Shorten it up.
Saeed?
Okay. My number 8 is a game that's kind of hard to find. It took some doing to find it. Quicks.
Oh, okay.
It's a very
Quicks.
brief dice game, but
It's all in German right now.
it's all in German. It requires some logic to play.
Yeah.
Like the timing is kind of essential. But essentially, you're trying to cross off numbers from 2
Knowing a second
to
language.
12. Knowing a second language is key. Yeah. But
No, thankfully it's simple enough that
Yeah.
we just watched how to play it and we know. I mean,
yeah.
So you really don't need
So-
the instructions.
So I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that game a lot. I try to play it. You could actually play it solo just to see what kind of score you get.
Yeah, I mean, and
But-
you're such a dice game guy. That's no
Yeah.
shock. Yeah,
Yeah, it shouldn't surprise anybody.
yeah, that's a good
So-
one. Yeah, but it is a good game.
Yeah, my number 8 is Quicks.
And that's
with 2 X's.
QWIXX.
Mhm.
Yes. All right. My number 8 is another dice game, which I am thinking is going to be higher on Saeed's list, and that is Quarriors.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah, score.
I mean, I like dice games too. I mean, I'm not like Saeed, but I like dice games, and I like that the buying mechanic as you go around. You buying the different dice, and then the way those cards are, so that
you start adding the expansions, it's just
and then the dice are
endless.
Yeah, and they're all 3 things, and each one of them. I mean, it's still like the green one is still that blob, but the low end blob, the medium blob, and the high end blob.
Yeah, the different values.
It's
They're
all random.
They're very different. They're even they're a little bit different from one another. So
Yeah,
you have
it's
to,
not all the same by
Yeah.
any means. Yeah.
So it gives you a little more versatility with the
Yeah,
set
so
of
it depends
dice,
on what's
and
coming
there
out.
is a lot of
The
dice.
artwork is all good. The dice are all pretty cool there because the dice have the characters on them. And
Yeah, and when you add the expansions to it,
Yes.
you have dice coming out just
yin
coming
yang,
out your
yeah.
butt.
And it's a home run either way. I mean, but with the expansion, just makes it better and better and better. I mean, you may have your quibbles over which expansion to get when, but
Get 'em all.
having them all, is gonna you got it.
just get them all. Yeah, some of them
Buy
cost a
them
little
all.
much, but some of them cost equal to the base game. But get them.
Yeah, if you're a fan of dice games, it's highly recommended you buy the expansions as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the 8s, and let's go on to number 7.
All My number 7 is Formula D. A little auto racing game there where you're either playing, you can play in all kind of conditions there. You can get as simple as just going around a track, or you can get really intricate and play with like worn tires and engine blowing and weather.
Different characters.
Different characters. Some guy throwing a radio out of his car.
That's good.
You can speed through the police station and get bonus points or something like that. It's a really cool race game, and you can play that with teams or just individual players.
Upwards of 10 people can play.
Yeah, because there's
I think
two
there is.
cars of each color.
Yeah, there's 2 cars.
Four cars.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of players in there.
But you're right, I think it holds up. Whatever.
Yeah.
We're getting off it.
But Formula D. A pretty cool game. It's
a lot of strategy involved with that too, as far as stopping in the bends, like you have to. What gear do you have to be in to manage that?
There's all kind of variables in it.
If you get bogged down in the wrong gear, then you're gonna get passed up and be way behind.
Yeah, you get penalized for not stopping in the turns the right amount of times.
I think the neatest part of the game is also its weakness in that there's unique dice where you have the 4-sided, 6-sided, blah, 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 and they all have numbers that skew high, with a certain starting number. I love that, but at the same time, it has that randomizing factor that just... it's unfortunate. I mean, you get a couple of bad rolls that messes you up on your gearing, and you're just totally out of it. But it's you just live with it.
You can make up with it because someone else can mess up.
Plus, you can make right-hand turns too.
It's definitely not an indie race.
NASCAR.
Or NASCAR.
It is like an indie race.
Oh no, indie race goes around in a circle too. Indy 500.
Yeah, but they have a lot more street. They have a lot more street courses. Yeah.
All right, but that's neither here nor there.
All right, so say
number 7.
Yep.
It's a game that we've recently played. We've only played it through as a group one time, but I was so taken by it, and that is Freedom: The Underground Railroad.
Okay, yeah.
Apparently, it's really difficult to beat, but we managed to beat it the first time
on
through.
The first try.
But by God, that was difficult. It was so intense. I mean, most co-op games don't get too intense. It's just kind of debating amongst each other.
You get emotionally invested in those cubes.
Oh, you certainly do.
Yeah, you
certainly do. And I've never felt such an intense feeling playing a co-op game as I did with this game, and that's why I ranked it.
Yeah, and you're sort of going back to like, no, you want to get everybody this way or go this way, and you do get involved in it as trying to cooperate with everybody, as opposed to just very subtle movements. One move can make a big difference.
Yeah, and I mean that's another one where the luck of the card draws and the dice rolls can get you, but in that one, that feels thematic to me because the people who were running the Underground Railroad at the time, I mean, they didn't know what historical event was going to come up and give them problems or give them help. They didn't know where the slave catchers, might go or what, So when those things happen, I mean, to me, that feels like it puts me in the time and not knowing what those events are. And so for me, that has a totally different feel than the Formula D does. I mean, that feels thematic. That works for me in that.
Yeah, it's definitely a good game.
Yeah, you become completely emotionally invested. Yeah. There's no question about that.
All right, it's a good pick. All right, my number 7 is Village. Okay. Yeah, I love it. Village. I love the mechanic of having the multi-generations and having the to decide whether you're going to place them and use time off of their lives to produce a good, or you're going to spend resources to produce a good. And then you have the traveling, you have the church, you have the politics, you have the craftsman, the market. and I just like that. I mean, obviously, you have those cubes and they're multicolored, and I mean, other than the black one, none of us knows what they mean, and they are supposed to represent something. So it would be nice if they did represent what they, But I can get past it. Yeah, I can get past it. I like it. It's just a really neat. It's got, that little bit of worker placement, and that mechanic of thinking like, okay, do I use time and maybe kill off this generation, and how quickly I got to get the next generation out, and it's just, I just like that, and it's Euro enough. It's a game it's big for me. Yeah,
It was a game that I didn't even consider. Might have made my list.
Yeah,
because I do enjoy that one as well. It's just we haven't played it.
Yeah, it's been a neat time. Yeah,
It's been a little while.
Yeah.
So that's my number 7, and well, let's move on to number 6. Okay, my number 6 is one that I would like to think is on all 3 lists, although I guess I'll find out because apparently I'm first if it is, and that is Seasons. All right, I love it. I'm pretty sure, I know we all like it. I love it. Obviously, I got it on number 6.
I like it. I can't say I love it, but I like it. Yes.
I mean, it's got that neat dice thing. It's got going on the calendar, so you're changing the dice every so many turns. You've got the cards to play.
I like the dichotomy between the two, the dice and the cards.
Yep.
Just something works there. I really do.
And of course, the faces of the die are different, and so you're more likely to get Earth in this season, or fire in this season, air, water, and you've got your crystals to worry about, your summoning ability, and how many cards you can have on. So it's just a neat. It's got all those things happening, and so it's clicking with the dice, it's clicking with the cards, and I just love that mechanic of changing the dice. So you're using the blue, the green, the yellow, the red as it goes.
Moving it around.
Yeah, so that's my number 6, Seasons.
My number 6 is a newer game that we all just played. Is Hotel Samoa.
Oh.
I just thought that was pretty cool, getting the tourists in and out of town or out of the hotels there. The mechanics of it, you sort of line everything up. It's random each time you play it. Fairly simple, straightforward game. But it has some things. It has a little bit of strategy.
Yeah, maybe
because
kick those Norwegians out before.
Yeah, you want to kick out that, and
because they're staying for like the entire summer.
Get them out of there.
Portuguese.
The pool, you get some extra points this way.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a cool game there. We just recently played that there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Hotel Samoa is my number 6.
I only played it that one time, and I'm just kind of vague on it.
Yeah,
so
but
it might grow on me. I kind of remember it,
Yeah.
but things happen.
What's your number 6?
My number 6 has already been mentioned. That's Formula D.
Oh, okay.
Really enjoyed that
Yeah.
game, but I don't think I have to reiterate much. Just if you do play it, be several moves ahead. Don't get caught up and I gotta catch up.
Don't
with
get
these
the pole
people.
position. Be like second or third.
Yeah, pole position never wins.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Second or third is perfect.
That's our second repeat.
Yeah. Formula. Well, that's no shot. Formula.
Yeah.
That's no shot.
Oh no, it's gonna keep happening.
Yeah.
At this point,
I think at this point, we're
Yeah.
gonna have a couple more repeats there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go on to number 5. Okay. So.
Okay. My number 5 is also a repeat,
Uh-oh.
and that is Warriors.
Oh, yeah. That's no shock.
It
Dice
shouldn't be.
game.
It shouldn't be a shock.
No, dice game.
But the one thing that I don't like about that game is a lot of times you'll have like things that take 7 quiddity out there, but you always roll a 6.
It does.
You never roll a 7.
Right.
It just
Despite the
it's
fact.
almost useless to have those out there.
Yeah, it is wacky.
It's crazy.
And it's crazy. Like sometimes then you have the guy or whatever that's always rolling like a 10. You're rolling 6 and 6 and 6. Then all of a sudden 10.
Yeah.
And you're overbuying. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can only spend
You gotta buy
once.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you have special
Yeah,
abilities,
unless you have special
then you can buy 2
Yeah.
or more sometimes.
But be that as it may, number 5,
Yeah.
Warriors.
Obviously, good pick. Good pick. So, okay, my number 5. Oh, boy.
Guess what this is?
Just by saying that.
Arm yourself.
My number 5 is the Star Wars X-Wings miniatures game. I mean, I'm the Star Wars buff here.
Yes,
I
yes,
love
yes,
it.
you are.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes, you are.
I love it. I mean, even I would like to get that Wings of Glory, to be honest with you, because while it's Star Wars, and obviously I love that, and I love playing that, I would like playing that dogfighting. That's a part of it that I like as much. And so playing that Wings of Glory, I could see myself doing that and having, you know, the ME-109 and the Spitfires and Mustangs and P-40s. I mean, I that would be as interesting to me.
Now that I can get behind, I believe.
Let's see now. What if you're
As a
bitching about the
dogfighting
mechanics? If you're
No.
bitching about the mechanics, then you're not going to like that
I'm
game
not
either.
bitching about the mechanics one bit. I'm bitching about the length of time it takes to develop any kind of scenario in this
Well,
game.
I think yeah. I mean, if you're playing just dogfight,
The dogfighting was
you
fun.
get rid of scenarios. That's going to play. Wings of Glory is going to play exactly the same.
Yes.
No
Yeah.
comment.
The dogfighting was a blast.
Yeah.
Whenever we first got this game, we did a couple dogfights.
Yeah.
They were pretty quick and easy, and it was,
And I
know,
think
strategic.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
when I get the Carcanos pack,
Mm.
we will play. We're not gonna do any kind of scenario. We'll just do that, and we'll just do dogfighting. Hopefully, that'll placate the two of you. So that's my number 5. That's
It
my
should.
number. Yeah,
It
yeah.
should.
Number 5,
Yes.
Star Wars X-Wing miniatures game.
It's safe to say it didn't make my list.
I know it didn't make your list.
No, it's not on my list, that's for sure. All right, my number 5. This is my first repeat, and it's Cards Against Humanity.
Oh wow!
And
I would have thought that'd been a little higher for you.
no,
I mean, no, I wasn't thinking 1, but I was.
No, there's some. It's a great game, but it's a party game. It is, hands down, I think the best party game you can get for adults. It's strictly adults, I'm going to say. But you don't get better than that. You're sitting around, you're having a couple of beers, you got some friends over. There is not a better way to start a conversation, to get people laughing, cutting up, than Cards Against Humanity.
And possibly falling out of their chairs.
Or possibly falling out of their tears, falling out of their chairs in tears.
You can
That's
fall
it.
out of your tears.
You know,
suppose.
in laughter.
Suppose you're on the
It's-
second tier and you fall to the first.
It's just a great party game. There's no training needed to play it or anything. You don't have to share the instructions or anything or pass out PDFs of it.
And it's not in German,
It's not
except
in
for
German.
the dungeon.
Now
part.
there is one question. Do you have a feeling that when a certain something comes in the mail, Cards Against Humanity may just fall off your radar completely? Is it possible? I know I don't want to keep this mysterious for people watching, but do you just hurry up? What do you think? Just yes or no? You think it's possible that that's just gonna gone?
Quite. It'll be a very close tie if it doesn't dethrone it.
It's possible.
And you will see us playing it.
That'll get on. That'll get on.
It's comparable, but we won't give
I
you
have
more
no
away.
idea what they're talking about.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway,
all right. That's
number
our
5.
number
Cards
5.
Against Humanity.
All right. Let's go to number 4.
Number 4 is not a repeat, surprisingly.
Okay.
It's a game that was recently introduced to me, but it's a much older game. It's from the early to mid 90s, I believe, and that is Speculation.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a
That almost made my list.
It's a
that
stock-
really did.
yeah.
That almost made my list.
It's a stockbroking game. There's 8 tiles that sort of maneuver themselves around the board. You try to buy low and sell high, much like the stock market. It all depends on the kind of cards that are played by the other players.
Yeah.
You have a deck of 9, one of which is a bank holiday, and the other 8 represent the stocks that are in question. And when they play that, the stocks move up the board. except during a bank holiday in which nothing moves. But I found that just entertaining to me.
Oh yeah, it's a good game.
Nothing much more to say about that.
Yeah. And it's another one that takes no time to teach.
Yeah,
you're
straightforward.
Yeah.
It's a fun game there too.
I caught on pretty quick.
Some interactive, where you're moving your stocks around and trying not to hold on to them too long, getting rid of them.
Yeah. And the reason he started the way he started is we have the latest reprint, and the only fault we can give to that latest reprint is the bags with the tiles rather than dice. I mean, it should just give us 2 dice.
Just dice. The bags are just silly.
Yeah.
And they look really like they came out of the 70s.
Yeah,
They're like paisley. Yeah.
But that's a good choice.
Notwithstanding, it's a really good game.
That's a good thing. All right, my number 4. All right. I am not shocked that this hasn't come up. I'm pretty sure it's on both the other lists. I'd be stunned if it isn't. All right, and so we may see. So if you see like any tells, like if they give facial tells, you'll know it's on their list. Number 4, Lords of Waterdeep.
It's not on my list.
Right. Okay.
I don't even know what that is.
Have we played that?
So, Lords of Waterdeep. I mean, worker placement set in the Dungeons and Dragons universe, which is funny because these guys are just nowhere near that. That's not them in any way, shape, or form.
I haven't played Dungeons and Dragons since 4th grade.
Yeah, I mean, I
never have.
I'm far more recent, but even for
Never
me,
will.
it's been a long
Sort of like
time.
7-Up.
But I mean, it's a great game, and then with these expansions, I mean, bang zoom.
But it really takes the Dungeons and Dragons out of it. There's little to no reference to it.
Right. I mean, but you guys, no. You guys are seeing it as a worker placement game.
Well,
Yeah,
that's what it is.
What I'm saying is, all those texts and names and everything.
Who's reading all that
I
crap?
get it, but what I'm saying is, I know that.
Yeah.
So, like, all those references are familiar to me.
But you don't need to know that.
Right? No, you
that's
don't.
what
No,
it is.
but what I'm saying is that really they put a lot of work in, a lot more than you think. I mean, all those things are all from that world that they created. It's all there.
Sure,
it's really
that's like Elder Sign. I really like Elder Sign, but I could care less what the characters are
we don't
saying.
know
I like
anything
the
about
mechanics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like the mechanics of Elder Sign, but that.
Yeah. So but that's my number 4, Lords of Waterdeep. How about you?
Oh, well, my number 4 is a newly arrived Kickstarter game that I got
Oh, I know what this is.
called The Agents.
Yeah. Good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it just arrived maybe a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago tops. We've played through it twice, once with 2 people, sort of as a test run, and once with 3. I just really like it. A lot of different interactive things there because you're not playing. You're not playing against. Well, you're playing against everybody as far as points, but you're playing against a person next to you.
To your left
all
and
the
to your
time,
right.
and to your right. Well, if you're 3 players, everything.
However, but yeah.
If you're playing 2 players, it's still cool because you're going back and forth between them.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of different cool cards, art. The spoof set has like Inspector Gadget,
Austin Powers.
Agent 99, Agent 86.
Yeah, the Get Smart. Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm forgetting some.
Yeah.
But it's called The Agents. It was just a recent Kickstarter that probably hit everybody's mailbox here in the last 2 to 3 weeks.
So yeah, when we say recent, we're talking mid 2013, mid December 2013. So hopefully your friendly local gaming store will have it in the new year, I would think.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm sure the store game with for the
Yeah, and if you mention it to them, they'll probably know of it and know when they're getting it. So
hopefully it hits those shelves pretty soon. There,
really
I would
good.
definitely look forward to that.
We both kickstarted, so we actually both have copies of it.
Yeah.
I'll admit I had a hell of a time figuring it out at first. Like it wasn't something.
It's one of
that
those ones that, but then as soon as once you've done it, you go okay.
Once I figured it out, though, it was very interesting. It came a lot easier.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Good. Yeah.
Don't
Good
be
choice.
discouraged.
All right. How's your number 4?
We already did that.
You did? Oh, you started. Okay. Yeah. All right. let's move on to number 3. Okay, my number 3. This is another one of those where I would have had something in here, but then something else came along and knocked that right out. This is my deck building game. And so, had I not played this other game, Dominion would have been in here. But the game I'm referring to is Legendary Marvel deck building game. And it's, for me, that it's all about the theme. It's another thing that speaks to me. Marvel comics, I love it.
I lean towards the Dominion because
Yeah.
I know, but deck building comics and stuff, but just the game itself, it's pretty good.
And I like that it has that pseudo cooperative. So we're working together. There's a little bit of interaction between us.
That's
Whereas
what
Dominion-
separates it from Dominion. That's
Yeah.
where I feel there.
Yeah.
It separates it from Dominion because you can sort of kind of, well, you are being cooperative to try to beat the one, what do you call it, the villain.
Mastermind, yeah.
Mastermind,
and then you
yeah.
have the minor villains that you have to fight.
Whereas in Dominion, yeah, you're sort of playing on your own.
You are playing yourself until something happens, and then you check and see whether or not you have more points than this person.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you are playing a solitaire game. I mean, I love Dominion, but you are playing a solitaire game until that trigger happens, and then you add up your points. But I mean, I like Dominion. But yeah, so that's my number 3, Legendary
Alrighty.
Marvel deck building game.
My number 3 is one of the ones I really fell for. I think maybe a couple people here could guess it. I have all the expansions for it. Pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were about to say Warriors.
No.
I was about to say,
Oh, yeah.
is this hit all? Is this like the trifecta here? Okay.
But Pandemic, there's On the Brink and In the Lab. On the Brink, I'm sort of a little up in the air about that expansion, but In the Lab,
Yeah,
I
like
think
that one,
with In the Lab added on to Pandemic, it has a whole other aspect to it.
Yeah.
I think it gives it a little more co-op, a little more talkative nature to
player
it.
interaction. Yeah.
Yeah, but Pandemic,
And
I like
slightly
the
more
idea. Of it.
realism.
Yeah.
Slightly more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're going off and you're curing your diseases over here, and you're still trying to accomplish things on the game board.
Although there was one strange thing, and this is a real quick aside. I thought about it. If we had made that game harder and put the 6 epidemics in there, we would have had enough cards. Because we were controlling our outbreak.
Yeah.
We kept our outbreaks in check. We would have had enough cards to win.
Because
If we had had those 2 other cards in
turn
there.
away from winning.
If
the
we had
last time we played
had
it
those
without
2
an
extra
expansion.
cards in there, so if we had had it harder,
We'd have
won.
We would have actually won.
So that's just an aside. So yeah, good choice.
But yeah, Pandemic's my number 3, and I'm going to include the expansions on there.
Yeah.
Not just the base game, because we've played them with all the expansions. And again, In the Lab, I think is the best one of them all. But make sure when you're buying it, you get all the same version, because
Oh yeah.
there are different printings of the games.
Yeah.
So make sure whenever you go to your, hopefully you're going to a local game store and you have someone to talk to, you're getting the appropriate versions of the games.
Yeah, right editions.
So at this point, you shouldn't. There shouldn't really be any old ones sitting on the shelf. You should be safe, but just wanted to mention that.
Yeah.
So that was pointed out to me, and
Yeah.
it worked out.
Good idea.
And if you get that 1 edition, make sure you connect. Was it Sao Paulo and Lagos or something?
Yeah, you got to draw a line from
Yeah.
South America to
Someone
Africa.
forgot to.
Somebody messed that board up.
Yeah.
So, all right, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is already been mentioned,
Uh-oh.
and that is Seasons.
I knew
It's
it.
just
Once again, the dice.
Yeah. It's not just the dice.
I know, but that's
really-
that sort of tipping point. for
Really
you.
enjoyed the game.
Yeah.
Just as is.
It's neat, yeah.
The cards and the dice combined,
Yeah.
and all the special powers you can gain. It just
And you have all those cards. And I actually have I have the expansion. We have a lot more cards to try out. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you do now.
Yep.
Great.
So, yeah, but that's, good
All right.
choice. Yeah.
Seasons it is. Number 3.
Well, let's move on to number 2. We're starting number 2. Right?
Number 2. All right. Number 2. We're getting there to where this is tough decisions here, because there's so many games I wanted to include on this list that I really liked. But my number 2, Lords of the Waterdeep.
Oh, how shocking!
All right. Lords of the Waterdeep with the expansions.
Lords of Waterdeep.
Waterdeep, whatever. I'm not
Sorry, guy.
picky about that
Say it,
crap.
told you. Go ahead.
Hell, I play the game for fun. I don't care what the hell it's called half the time. Anyway, Lords of the Waterdeep, in the Waterdeep. I don't care.
All right.
Great game, worker placement. We've talked about it. I don't think we need to go into very much more.
Worker placement's your stick.
Yeah, I sort of like the work. I do like the worker placement.
Yeah.
You know, so that's my number 2.
All right. How about you?
My number 2 is probably the best co-op game I've ever played, and I do enjoy the co-op games.
Oh,
we've been doing a campaign with this recently.
Guess it's not Jenga.
No, it's not Jenga.
This can't be on your list.
No, it can't be on your list if you've never played it. And that game, it's based on a series of books. It's called Mice and Mystics.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I'm not allowed to play that or something, I guess. I don't know what the hell the deal.
Easily the best co-op game I've played. And we've only been playing it for, well, a few weeks.
Yeah.
Literally.
The best and worst part of that game
is I can't play it.
Yeah. You have to have 4 players.
Yeah.
You don't have to, but it just doesn't have the legs or
the
whatever.
storyline.
Yeah.
Because you're following a storyline.
Yeah.
There's I think 11 chapters to the
I believe so.
original. And my particular character is Scottish, so
Yeah.
so that makes me happy.
That's so good. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, love
I have
that
no
game.
comment.
Absolutely
I don't know
love that
anything
game.
about the game except
it's-
for it's always 4 players. And
Yeah, it's great. That's the thing. That's the its greatest strength and its greatest weakness.
Sounds great. Would love to play it one of these years, but
You can play with less players, but you always have to use those. You have to use 4 mice, so somebody has to be 2, and you want to get emotionally invested in those mice. Like you're. Yeah, excuse me.
Nez, he's my boy.
Yeah, you're really getting into this Scottish mice, Scottish mouse,
It's got a big armor.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
does.
I mean, you get into it, and so you don't want to be playing 2 characters,
No.
or 3 or whatever, and 2 and 2, however it works out. So I mean, I it's such a good game. I don't want to waste it on anything other than 4. I hate to say it that way, but that's it's just so. All right, that's a great choice.
I agree.
All right, my number 2, Mice and Mystics. It is.
Didn't see that one coming.
It is. Mice and Mystics. I mean, obviously, I've already been doing
it's
my
their number
rant.
2 because that game's the shit.
Yeah. All right. So, what's your number 2? No, I don't have to. There's nothing else to say.
I gave my number 2.
Oh, God. See, all right. Well, holy crap, we're on to the number 1s then.
Yes. Alrighty now, we're on to the big old number 1. My number 1 is going to be a shocker to everyone. I don't think anyone in this table will guess this, but I have it right over here, and it's called Don't Break the Ice. This game here is a classic. No.
Get the hell out of here.
No, really, it's dope. Yeah. All right. Anyway,
I only have that as a gag for our 4 Jagoffs and a tabletop game, which just doesn't quite work out yet, but
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right, what do you got?
my number 1
Nice.
is already been mentioned. Any guesses? It's already been mentioned.
No.
No, it's wrong.
No.
No
I
guesses.
don't think it's on mine.
Just shoot.
I think it was on both years. It was on both years. Yeah,
You
definitely.
said it?
Yeah, we have already said it. It's on both years.
King of Tokyo?
No. Wow. Anyway, Quarriors.
Oh! Damn it.
Quarriors is
the
my number
hell?
1 game.
I thought you already read that one off.
No. I wanted to put that up there because, I mean, I fell for this game. I have all the expansions, the dice, the cards, the interaction, your buildings. I mean, it's dice building, but you're getting cards on the table. It's just the perfect game for me. I wish they would come out with more. I know there is a Lord of the Rings rip-off or version of it, I guess. It's made by the same people with his kids.
I mean, it works exactly. It has a slightly different mechanics.
Yeah. But it's you know, but it's not compatible, or you can't really mix them. But anyway, Quarriors is my number one. You can't beat it as far as dice. You know, you like rolling dice all day long.
Yeah.
It's the game.
Yeah.
But that's my number one. Quarriors.
Good choice. I mean, I made all 3 lists. So.
Yes.
All right, what's your number one?
Hungry, hungry hippos. No, it shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone here.
It's on all 3 of our lists, I'm going to say.
Most certainly.
Yes.
Lords of the Waterdeep.
Lords of Waterdeep.
Lords of Waterdeep.
Yes.
Just, I'm absolutely enthralled with this.
So those are the 2 games that made all 3 lists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. No, Cards Against Humanity.
Oh. Well, no, I didn't say it.
No, you didn't? Oh, you're fired.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I don't have much to expand on that because
What's the
we've talked
expansion of
about it
that
twice.
called again?
Skullport.
It's like, Scoundrels of Skullport.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you got to get 2 in one. You get that, and you get Undermount.
Yeah. Yeah, you get them both.
Whatever you called it, I don't know.
Yeah, the expansions add a whole different aspect to everything.
We played that this evening.
Yeah.
Corruption
Change
skulls and
It was cool with 2
different boards.
Yeah,
Different
we went back and
places to
forth
land.
you could play with 2 people.
It works
It went-
with all numbers.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
you go with 2, man, you're going back and forth, you're gaining points and buying cards and doing this
Yeah,
and quests and cubes and
It
Yeah.
does work well with all numbers.
Yeah, I think we were both in the 200s.
I finished up with 217.
Good one.
2 shy.
2 shots.
And I lost by 7.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
2-4.
Yeah.
I lost by 3. 2-2-7 is
7.
much better. Mary.
Harry.
All right.
What's your number 1 there?
My number 1 has been mentioned.
It's not X-Wing, apparently.
And it's probably a little too new for me to put it number 1, but I mean, I just like it so much. And I know that as time goes on, I'm just going to like it more.
Oh, I can guess it.
What?
Freedom.
Yep. Freedom the Underground Railroad.
I
Yep.
like that game.
Yep.
I really did.
I mean, I'm a history buff. Okay, it was my major in college, so I mean, this just speaks to me in so many ways. It has all that historical information, all the cards. They're all real historical events. I mean, it is a historical event. I mean,
Yes.
it works well. We've mentioned it, so I mean, it's just, and you get emotionally invested in those cubes. You want to get them all to Canada, and then the game, you know that they're not all going to get there. So even though they're all ubiquitous cubes, wooden cubes, I mean, you still, this guy who's over in the lost column, or gets captured by the slave catcher, I mean, you think that that's a guy that you let down, that you didn't get into Canada. I mean, it just works. It works so well.
Very good game. I can't wait to play it again.
Couldn't agree
honestly.
more.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And it would have been higher on my list had we played it more than a couple times.
Yeah. So.
That's number 1.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
And we're just going to follow up here with a couple of quick little, just like an honorable mention, something that maybe should have made our list. 1 or 2 something real quick. Maybe we don't need to discuss them, but maybe that came up on someone else's list. Maybe then reminded you of something else. Saeed, anything came to mind there that maybe should be honorable mention for you?
Village.
Village.
Completely forgot about that game, and I do enjoy it. Yeah, so Village.
I would say for me, it's my hope at a Kickstarter that I'm still waiting. In fact, the first thing I ever kickstarted, Zaya Legends of a Drift System. Waiting for that one. It's supposed to play. It's a economic pick up and deliver space game. The big thing that it reminds me of is an old computer game called Gazillionaire, which is speculative trading. So you're buying items at a certain place, hoping to take them
Smugglers
somewhere.
of the Galaxy.
Great deal.
It's supposed to be a high. If it's what I think, it's going to be a high quality version of that, with far better mechanics and components. So once I get it, we'll see. I mean, I'm hoping that it looks great. It's the first thing I ever kickstarted, and I just did it as soon as I saw it.
Yeah, I'm still. As honorable mention that maybe didn't make the list that probably should have is I really enjoy either like Elder Sign or Dominion. either one of them. I'm not gonna talk about them, but both those games are pretty good. Go check them out. And as far as futures
Or even
something,
potentially Eldritch Horror, which has just recently come out.
okay. And then a couple of things I'm looking forward to is I have it sitting over here across the room is Euphoria. I'm looking forward to playing that. And I'm waiting on a couple of Kickstarters. One in particular is called Cornish Smuggler. It should be here in a week or so, hopefully. But looking down the road, yeah, Euphoria I have sitting over there. And then Cornish Smuggler, but
and I'll add Chaos and Alchemy to that list too. That's a Kickstarter as well.
Yeah.
That should be within the next couple months.
Yeah.
We should have a copy of that.
So
All right, well,
Keep your eyes
thank you. Yeah, thanks for watching.
be sure to check out 4jagoffs.com for all the videos listed there. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow on Twitter.
Please like and share,
Yes.
especially share.
Yes. Share a lot.
Share.
Facebook.
Share alike.
The online presence is there. Please check it out.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Later.